Hi y'all, I'm Allison. So I recently put up a couple of videos asking y'all to trash my TBR. And I thought I would come back and give you a little update on what I've decided to do with the majority of those books. So I'm not going to be discussing what they're about, just where they're going to land in the spectrum of things, because October is coming up quick, and if I want to decorate my shelves, I need to clean my shelves. So it's time to do some serious unhauling. So here's the fate of the books that we've talked about previously. By the way, this is Ellie. She doesn't show up often, so we'll see what she's going to do during this video. She does like to sit on the back of my fake leather chair, and normally have a blanket on it to protect her from her claws. You will see. I think she's just going to be a little headrest. I'd pet her, but then she'll run away. My daughter's cat. And I'm very partial to my daughter. I think I have too much of a dog taint on me. She doesn't typically hang out with me. Although, we may see her eating my hair. She likes to eat my hair. So, yeah, I see you, Ellie. Okay, let's get on with the scheduled program, shall we? So there are definitely some books that y'all had some input on. Thank you very much for your insight. Let's start with What the Dickens by Gregory Maguire. So I know this is an auto by author for Kimberly Kay, and Sam Loves Books was intrigued by this. So with an auto by author, somebody else is intrigued by it. I think I'm going to have to stick with this book. In fact, I just worked it on to my TBR, so I am potentially going to read this one in September, and I will let y'all know if it was any good or not. I do love the cover. It looks very creepy. So this one is sticking around and potentially will be read this month. I'm afraid to move because of the cat. The things we do for our cats, right? So I recently had a prompt in Just Spin It for World War I books. I think that might have been for my August TBR, and I couldn't find anything that fit. And while doing these videos, I realized this Somerset Abbey historical fiction is set during World War I. So that has decided it for me. I am going to hold on to this and check them out and see how they are. Okay, so Phoenix Rose, like this one years ago, but not quite sure how it'll hold up. So based on that, we do have a lot of overlap in our reading preferences. I'm going to hold on to Remember Me by Christopher Pike and at least give part one of this huge omnibus a chance and see how it is. I believe this was 3 bound up in 1. So Remember Me will be staying, which is kind of a bummer because that would have freed up space for a few books. But it's all worth it if it's good, right? Another one I will be keeping is The Body Finder, along with parts 2 and 3. In fact, this is officially on my September TBR, and I am looking forward to rereading it. So this is sticking around and getting another chance. Now, I will definitely be unhauling. See me moving funny so I don't disturb the cat. Hi, Ellie. Looking a little creepy. So I am getting rid of the Gone, Fade, and Wake. Nobody really had anything to say on these in the video, which is fine. So I did look at reviews, and I can always tell if I'm past a book, if I'm no longer intrigued by it, because I will skip over the 5-star reviews and I'll look for the low ones. I'm looking for justification to get rid of it, and I found it on these. Okay, I'm going to put spoiler in case you are interested in this. This has like date rape of students by teachers and a lot of language, and it's just, no, this is not a series I want. No, this is not a world I want to delve into. I know these came out, I think, 2010. I know for a little while there was maybe not a trend, but there were quite a few books that was addressing date rape and things like that to get the conversation started on those and saying, under no circumstances is this okay. So while that was important, and it's still something important to discuss and bring to light, It's not a trilogy I want to dive into. So no, these are definitely out my door. Okay, another one I've decided it's just time for it to go out the door is 2x2 by Nicholas Sparks. It's just not something that has ever spoken to me. I held on to it for a long time just because it was a gift, and I thought, well, maybe I'll like it, and decided, no, I have zero interest in it, no desire to read it, so bye-bye. I'm sure somebody else would absolutely love it, and it's great condition. Okay, another book that nobody really had any input on was The Otherworldlies. Honestly, I'm on the fence on this one. I might hold on to it for a little bit. Maybe I need to try a chapter thing, because this is like a different take on vampires, and I do love a good vampire story. It just seems to get wrong to get rid of one with October coming up, because I know I'm going to be looking for these. So I think I'm going to hold on to it for a little bit longer and see what happens. Speaking of that, we've got another one, which is Dracula the Undead by Drake Stoker. So I believe it was the great nephew or something of Bram Stoker. Since I just picked up children's classics Dracula, I think I'm going to hold on to this because I have a feeling that's going to really, spark my interest in more Dracula based from the original. So I'm going to hold on to this one at least for a little while longer. Again, going with our October vibe, I'm going to keep The Little Stranger. I know this is like a classic horror, and so for that reason, I'm just going to hold on to it and see if it makes my list for this October. And my horror shelf is actually quite sparse, so I've got room for it. It might as well stay. I'm not getting rid of many of these. The Dark is Arising, this massive omnibus. So Tabara's Den, thank you for your input on this. It sounds good, and it's one of her favorite tropes, the trope of 6 battling the dark. So I'm not quite familiar with that trope, and she gave me a ton of recommendations for it. So for that reason alone, I'm really intrigued. So I am definitely going to at least read the first one in here. This is a combination of 5 books in one massive one. So again, with October, I don't know why I was targeting all of these spooky Halloween vibey books, because I can't get rid of them now. So thank you for your insight on that one. Okay, I think, oh, and another one. See, I am terrible at unhauls. I have decided to hold on to the whole Fallen series because, again, I haven't read a good angel versus demon in a long time. So I think I'm going to hold on to it and at least attempt book 1 soon. Maybe I should give myself a deadline on these, that if they're not at least started within, what if they should become, these books will self-destruct. I'm not going to commit myself to that soon, but I have a feeling I'm going to have to do one of those videos, because I need to do something about my mess. It's affecting me. Okay, and there were a couple I didn't pull. Let me go find them. These. They're going. Stefan's annoying. Enough said. Can't remember who it was, but I know somebody else was like, yeah, Stefan, no. Team Damon all the way. Always Team Damon. Love those shows. And The Secret Circle, I missed that show. That was so good. If anybody knows, if they see it on any streaming, Secret Circle, which same author that did Vampire Diaries, that TV show was so good. If you ever run across it, send me a note saying, hey, so-and-so has it. Oh, how could I forget this one? I am holding on to the Crystal Cave series. There are 4 of them. So Phoenix Rose and I one day will buddy read these, Arthurian Legend. So they're going to say this is like a 5-star all-time favorite for Phoenix Rose. So enough said. Here's the rest of them. Uh-oh. My stay pile is way high. Okay, off the cuff decision, Monster Blood Tattoo. It is going because honestly, whenever I see it on the shelf, I kind of feel my eyes rolling to the back of my head going, why is that still there? So it is going along with the other 2. They don't make a lot of space, so they're probably good, but I will let some middle grader enjoy them. Okay, so that was all of them from the first one. Let me see. I don't know if I can do this. It's going to be heavy. These are going. That's a nice little pile. These and these are staying. But at least I already have a few of them on my TBR. So we're making progress. Okay, let's run through the books from the second video. As much as I love Maggie Savater, I am going to unhaul Ballad and Lament because Pages with Paige was so kind to let me know that this was a planned trilogy. Part 3 has not been written, and the author says that her writing style has changed so much that she doesn't really expect to go back and ever finish this. So no need to dive into the world when the story won't be completed, and that will frustrate me. So these two are going. So thank you for that bit of insight. Okay, my daughter just came down, so Ellie went. Because by comparison, I am not good enough. Two more that are going are from the Double Murder Squad series by Tana French, the In the Woods and The Likeness. So I do remember I started In the Woods way back when, and it was just a little denser and deeper than I wanted to go at the moment. I was in the mood for something light or not light. Anyway, wrong tone of the book for the time. So I set it aside, forgot all about it. So I went and scrolled some reviews, and apparently it's very detailed. And like Liam was saying on Literary Diversions, the characters are all pretty much inclined to self-sabotage at the end. And they drag. I think every one of them says it has like 100 pages more than necessary. People either love these or they hate them. And since I did start it and I was like, no, and I never was compelled to pick it back up again, I'm going to say I'll probably fall on the side of going, can we just get on with it? So they are going. So The Dante Club by Matthew Pearl. Quite a few of y'all were interested in this because you also had it on your shelves, but had pretty much forgotten about it and hadn't gotten around to reading it. Go find it and read it. It was so good. So good, in fact, that I went and looked. There's a companion. It's not necessarily a true series sequel, but some of the, there's like a cast of characters in this one, and one of them or two of them return in this one, and they solve another mystery, and so good. So Matthew Pearl, staying. He's staying on my shelves, and I cannot wait to read The Dante Chamber. So if you've got it, get it on your list. And just in case you're curious, these were the other two that I was considering. They're all staying. Okay, one I really haven't decided on is The Secret History by Donna Tartt. I think this is going to stay. I think I need to at least give it a chance. So I know people either love it or hate it, and I want to know what I am. So it's staying. Spoiler if you haven't seen my Bookopoly game, but this landed on my TBR. I've decided I'm going to give this one a go, and after reading the back and hearing from Kimberly K, her sister loved it, and she's got this on her own TBR. Kimberly does. I don't know if the sister does. And Pages with Paige. Oh no, my tower just died. Loved it as well. So I'm definitely holding on to it, and it landed on my TBR for September. Got a really huge TBR, so I don't know if I'll actually get to it. But I am excited once again to read this book. So this and the parts 2 and 3 are sticking around. Okay, Phoenix Rose. This was a 5-star read for them. The 13th Tale by Diane Setterfield. And we have discussed doing a buddy read on it. So it must stay one of their favorites. So I'm intrigued, and I'm keeping it. And I am also going to keep The Book of Lies after discussing it or describing it to y'all in the video. My curiosity is piqued once again, so I'm going to give it a shot. And it is shorter than some of the big chunky ones, so I think it can stick around a while longer and see if it was worth all of that time it's been on my shelf. Okay, The Alchemist's Daughter. There wasn't really any feedback on this one, and I have absolutely no idea what I'm going to do with it. So I think for now, it's just going to have a bullseye, and hopefully I will get to it soon and decide if it stays or goes. So I think that's what I'll do, because again, it's not huge. It's not taking a ton of space, and it's lived with me for so long. I don't want to dismiss it and regret it. I had one person who I've never seen a comment from before, so if it makes them want to comment saying I need to keep it, then I think I will. Although I had someone else say it was hard to read. So I'm going to see where I fall on this spectrum. I'm going to hold on to it and at least read the first one or attempt it and see how I feel about it and go from there. I do have books 1 through 5. The last book to decide on is Drood by Dan Simmons. This one's supposed to be ending Dickens' last unfinished book. And I think because this is going to be dealing with like opium dens and the underbelly of London and all of that dark stuff, I don't really enjoy those. I know a little of Dickens' works, so I'm not as invested in his books or his story as I would be potentially other authors. So I think for that fact, and it's so big, I think this one's just going to go. Okay, these are heavy. These are what I'm keeping, along with any sequels. But I'm getting rid of these. So wasn't quite as successful with this group, but that's okay. I just don't want to get rid of any books that I will potentially regret, because I can't tell you how many times I've unhauled a book and gone out and rebought it because I was like, I want to read that again. So I'm bad about that. Anyway, thank you so much for all of your help with my decision making. It did make a huge difference. And hopefully, I can get to these books, and if they're also unknown for you, I can let you know whether it's worth holding on to or just getting rid of. So this gets me one step closer to doing my overhaul of my library, because it is a hot mess in here and I need to make room for Halloween decorations. Priorities, right? All right. I hope y'all enjoyed. If you have, consider subscribing, and I hope to see you in the next one. Have a good one. Bye now.